My Apache neighbor got jealous seeing a girl kiss me. I told her, if you want, your turn next. The sun was warm that afternoon as the young man arrived at his new home. He had just moved to a small town near an Apache community, a place full of history and quiet beauty. The neighborhood was peaceful, with small houses lined up along the street, each one with a neat garden or a few trees. The air smelled fresh and birds chirped happily. Everything felt calm and welcoming. He had left behind the busy city life hoping for a fresh start. Life had been stressful for him before, full of noise and rush. Here, he wanted to find peace, make new friends, and maybe learn more about the culture around him. He didn't know anyone yet, but he hoped that would change soon. On his very first day, as he was unpacking boxes in his small yard, he noticed a young girl walking by. She had long dark hair tied back with a simple ribbon, and her eyes were bright and curious. She smiled gently when she saw him struggling with a heavy box. "Need some help?" she asked kindly. Surprised but grateful, he nodded. Together they carried the box inside the house. Her voice was soft but cheerful, and her words made him feel at ease. "I'm Anna," she said as they set the box down. "Nice to meet you, Anna," he replied. "I'm Jake." Anna lived nearby, just a few houses down the street. She knew the neighborhood well and offered to show Jake around. He gladly accepted because he wanted to get familiar with the area. As they walked, Anna talked about the town's history, the Apache culture, and the people who lived there. She was proud of her heritage and shared stories about her family, traditions, and festivals. Jake listened carefully, impressed by how much she knew and loved her home. Days passed, and Jake and Anna grew closer. They spent time together every afternoon, sometimes sitting by the small river that ran through the edge of the town, sometimes visiting the local market where Anna introduced him to traditional foods. Jake loved the quiet moments, the simple conversations, and the feeling that he was slowly becoming part of something new and special. But while Jake and Anna were becoming friends, there was someone else watching quietly. A young woman lived next door to Jake. Her name was Maya, and she was Apache, like Anna. Maya was shy and often kept to herself, spending most of her time reading or walking alone in the fields. But when she saw Anna and Jake together, something inside her stirred. She felt a strange mix of feelings she didn't fully understand. Maya watched from her window as Anna laughed and talked with Jake. She noticed the way Anna looked at him and how he smiled back. It made Maya's heart ache in a way she had never felt before. She felt jealous, but also curious. She didn't know how to express what she felt, so she kept her distance. One evening, Jake decided to visit Maya. He wanted to introduce himself properly and maybe make a new friend. When he knocked on her door, Maya was surprised but welcomed him in. They talked quietly about the town, their lives, and their hopes for the future. Jake found Maya's quiet strength and gentle nature very interesting, and Maya enjoyed hearing about Jake's adventures from the city. Over the next few weeks, the three of them, Jake, Anna, and Maya, began to form a small circle of friendship. They respected each other's differences and learned from one another. Anna taught Jake about Apache traditions. Maya shared stories from her family's past. And Jake brought a fresh perspective to their quiet town. One day as Jake was walking home from the market, he noticed Maya sitting alone by the river. She looked lost in thought. He sat beside her and gently asked if she wanted to talk. Maya hesitated, then shared some of her feelings, how she sometimes felt invisible, how she admired Anna's courage, and how she wasn't sure where she belonged. Jake listened carefully and told her that everyone had value, and that sometimes feelings were hard to understand but important to face. Maya smiled, feeling a little lighter than before. Jake's kindness and the friendship between them gave Maya a quiet hope. She began to spend more time outside, opening up bit by bit. Even joined Anna and Jake on their walks and small adventures around the town. One afternoon, the three friends sat under a large tree sharing stories and laughter. The sun was setting, casting a warm orange glow over the land. In that peaceful moment, Jake felt grateful for the new life he was building. Not just a new place to live, but new friendships that felt real and deep. He knew there would be challenges ahead, especially as feelings and emotions became more complicated. But for now, he was happy to enjoy the calm, the company, and the quiet beauty of the place he now called home. One bright afternoon, the town was alive with the sounds of children playing and neighbors chatting. Jake had just finished helping Anna carry some groceries into her small house. The two of them had become close friends in a short time, and their daily meetings had started to feel like a special routine. Anna was excited because today she wanted to show Jake a small secret place she loved, a quiet garden hidden behind an old stone wall near the edge of the town. It was a place where wildflowers grew, and birds sang songs that seemed to fill the air with magic. Anna said it was one of her favorite spots to think and feel calm.
Jake smiled, eager to see this special place.
As they walked through the narrow streets, the sun shone warmly on their faces, and a soft breeze carried the sweet smell of flowers. The world around them seemed peaceful and perfect. When they reached the garden, Jake's eyes widened with surprise. The garden was beautiful, full of colorful flowers, tall trees, and soft grass that felt like a green carpet. A small wooden bench sat under a big oak tree, inviting them to sit and enjoy the quiet. They sat side by side, talking about simple things, their dreams, their favorite memories, and the places they hoped to visit someday. Anna told Jake stories about her childhood, the festivals in her village, and the songs her family sang by the fire at night. Jake listened closely, feeling lucky to hear these stories that were new and different from anything he had known before. He felt a deep respect for Anna's culture and the way she saw the world with kindness and strength. Suddenly, Anna looked at Jake with a shy smile. She reached out gently and took his hand in hers. It was a small, quiet moment, but it said a lot. Jake's heart beat faster, and he realized that the friendship between them was changing into something more. Before he could say anything, Anna surprised him by leaning closer and pressing a soft kiss on his cheek. The warmth of her lips made Jake feel a mix of happiness and nervousness. He smiled, not sure what to say, but glad for the gentle connection. At that moment, they didn't notice Maya, the Apache neighbor, watching from a distance. Maya had been walking nearby and had stopped to rest under a tree. When she saw Anna and Jake in the garden, her breath caught in her throat. She felt a sharp pain of jealousy mixed with sadness. Maya's eyes followed the small kiss, and her hands clenched tightly at her sides. She hadn't expected to feel this way, but the sight made her heart ache. She wanted to be the one close to Jake, to share that moment and that feeling. For a few minutes, Maya stood frozen, unsure of what to do. Should she turn away and hide, or should she step forward and join them? Her mind was full of questions, and her emotions felt confusing and overwhelming. After a while, Maya quietly walked away, hiding her feelings deep inside. She told herself to be strong and patient, but inside, she wished things could be different. The next day, Jake noticed that Maya seemed distant and quieter than usual. She avoided meeting his eyes and kept to herself more than before. Jake felt concerned but didn't know how to reach out without making her uncomfortable. Anna, too, sensed the change. She felt a mix of happiness for the moment she shared with Jake and guilt because she didn't want to hurt Maya. He wondered if there was a way to bring them all closer instead of letting distance grow between them. One afternoon, Jake decided to visit Maya at her house. He wanted to understand her feelings better and make sure she knew he cared about her as a friend. When Maya opened the door, her face was calm but guarded. Jake smiled gently and said, "I noticed you've been quiet lately. Is everything okay?" Maya looked down and took a deep breath. "I guess I've been feeling a little lost. Seeing you and Anna together made me realize things I didn't expect." Jake nodded. "It's okay to have feelings like that. Sometimes it's hard to understand what's inside us." Maya's eyes met his, and for the first time she felt safe enough to speak honestly. "I like you, Jake, more than just as a friend. But I'm afraid to say it because I don't know if you feel the same." Jake was silent for a moment, thinking carefully about what to say. He wanted to be kind and clear. "Maya, I care about you, and I'm glad you told me. I want us to be honest with each other no matter what happens." Maya smiled shyly. "Thank you. That means a lot." From that day on, Jake made an effort to spend time with Maya as well as Anna. He didn't want either of them to feel left out or hurt. The three of them started meeting more often, sharing stories, jokes, and even simple meals together. Despite the new closeness, the feelings between Jake, Anna, and Maya remained complicated. Sometimes there were moments of quiet tension, but also moments of warmth and understanding. One afternoon, as the sun began to set, Jake, Anna, and Maya sat together on a hill overlooking the town. The sky was painted with shades of orange and pink, and the air was cool and fresh. Anna reached over and squeezed Jake's hand. Maya looked at them both, her heart full of hope and uncertainty. Jake looked at Maya and said softly, "If you want, your turn next." Maya's eyes widened in surprise. She laughed quietly, feeling a mix of nervousness and happiness. In that simple moment, they all knew that their friendship was growing into something new, something that would take time, patience, and care. But most of all, it was real. After that evening on the hill, things between Jake, Anna, and Maya began to change in quiet but meaningful ways. The small group of friends had moved past the simple days of easy smiles and laughter. Now deeper feelings stirred beneath the surface, mixing with hope, fear, and the careful dance of understanding one another's hearts. Maya found herself thinking about Jake more often. She had always been quiet and shy, preferring the comfort of books and nature over crowds and noise. But her feelings for Jake were strong and new, and they surprised her. She admired his kindness and how he listened when she spoke, even when she found it hard to find the right words. Yet, Maya also felt confused. Her culture, her family, and the quiet village traditions she grew up with taught her to keep her emotions guarded. She was afraid of what might happen if she let those feelings show. Would Jake feel the same? Would her community accept it? Or would she be seen as someone who didn't follow the unspoken rules? Every time Maya saw Jake and Anna together, laughing or sharing a look, her heart ached. She wished she could be as brave as Anna, who seemed so open and sure about her feelings. But Maya was still learning how to be brave in her own way. Anna, too, was feeling a mix of emotions. She was happy that Jake and Maya were growing closer, but she also felt a quiet sadness deep inside. She cared for Jake, yes, but she didn't want to hurt Maya, who was her friend and part of her world. Anna often wondered if she had been too quick with her feelings, or if she had caused a rift between the two of them. Jake noticed these changes, but didn't want to push anyone. He was new to these feelings as well. Back in the city, relationships had been simple or confusing, but here, things felt more real, more important. He wanted to be honest with both Anna and Maya, but he was also afraid of making a mistake. One afternoon, Maya invited Jake to go for a walk with her. The air was fresh, and the sun shone softly through the trees. As they walked along a quiet path by the river, Maya took a deep breath and began to speak. "Jake, I want to tell you something," she said, her voice gentle but steady. "I've been feeling jealous sometimes when I see you and Anna together. I know it's wrong to feel this way, but I can't help it." Jake stopped and looked at her, surprised but understanding. "Maya, it's okay to feel jealous. It means you care. What matters is what we do with those feelings." Maya nodded, feeling relief that Jake didn't judge her. "I want to be brave. I want to tell you how I feel, but I'm scared." Jake smiled kindly. "Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you do things even when you are afraid. And I want us to be honest with each other." For the first time, Maya felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She realized that maybe she didn't have to hide her feelings anymore. Later that week, Anna found Jake sitting alone by the old stone wall near the garden. She joined him quietly, and for a moment, they just watched the clouds float by. "I've been thinking about us," Anna said softly. Jake turned to her, curious. "What about us?" Anna sighed. "I care about you a lot, but I also care about Maya. I don't want to lose either of you." Jake reached out and took her hand. "I feel the same. Maybe we don't have to lose anything." "Maybe we can find a way to be together, all of us." Anna smiled, a tear shining in her eye. That would be hard, but maybe it's possible. In the days that followed, Jake, Anna, and Maya spent more time together, trying to understand their feelings and each other. Sometimes they talked late into the night, sharing their hopes and fears. Other times they sat in silence, simply enjoying being near one another. Maya began to open up more about her culture and family. She told stories about the Apache way of life, the respect for nature, the importance of community, and the strength found in quiet moments. Jake listened fascinated, and Anna felt proud to see her friend sharing so much. One evening, as the three sat around a small campfire outside Jake's house, Maya finally spoke the words she had been holding inside for so long. "Jake, I like you," she said, her voice soft but clear. Not just as a friend. Jake looked at her, his heart full of warmth. "Maya, I like you too." Anna reached out and took both their hands.
"We'll figure this out. Together."
The fire crackled and the night sky stretched above them full of stars. In that moment, all their fears and doubts seemed smaller than the hope they shared. But they also knew the road ahead would not be easy. There were challenges, feelings to understand, fears to overcome, and the eyes of the community watching. Yet, they were ready to face it all, hand in hand. The days after Maya spoke her heart were filled with new feelings and quiet moments of courage. Jake, Anna, and Maya were learning what it meant to be honest with each other and themselves. The closeness they shared was beautiful, but it also brought challenges they had never faced before. One afternoon, Jake noticed that Maya seemed nervous. She kept looking at the ground and fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. He wanted to help, so he gently asked, "Maya, is something on your mind?" Maya took a deep breath and looked up. "Jake, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening and being patient. It's not easy for me to open up like this." Jake smiled warmly. "You don't have to thank me. We're friends, and I care about you." Encouraged by his kindness, Maya took a small step forward. "There is something else I want to say."
I want to ask you if you would like to spend more time with me. Just the two of us."
Jake's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't expected her to ask so directly, but he was happy she did. "I would like that very much," he said. Maya smiled shyly, her eyes sparkling. "Then maybe we can find a time soon." At the same time, Anna watched this moment with mixed feelings. She was happy for Maya, but also felt unsure about where she fit in the growing relationship. Anna loved spending time with Jake, but she didn't want to hurt Maya or cause any distance between them. One evening, Anna decided to talk to Jake alone. They sat on the porch of Jake's house, watching the stars appear in the dark sky. "Jake," Anna began softly, "I see how close you and Maya have become, and I want you to know that I support you both." Jake reached for her hand. "Anna, I care about you too, and I don't want to lose what we have, but I know this is new for all of us." Anna nodded. "Maybe we need to be brave together, to find a way that works for all of us." Their conversation was honest and full of hope. They both understood that love could be complicated, but also worth the effort. Meanwhile, Maya prepared for her time with Jake. She chose a quiet place by the river, where the water moved slowly over smooth stones, and the trees whispered softly in the breeze. It was a special place for her, full of peace and memories. When Jake arrived, Maya greeted him with a warm smile. They walked slowly along the riverbank, talking about their dreams and fears. The sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. Maya took Jake's hand in hers, feeling the warmth and comfort it brought. She looked into his eyes and said, "Thank you for being patient with me." Jake squeezed her hand gently. "I want us to take things at your pace. We have time." Their quiet moment was filled with understanding and kindness. Neither of them rushed, but both felt the bond growing stronger. Back in the neighborhood, Anna kept busy with her own thoughts. She began to explore her feelings, writing in a small journal she kept hidden in her room. Writing helped her understand herself better and find peace with the changes happening around her. One afternoon, Anna invited Maya to join her for tea. They sat together in Anna's garden, surrounded by blooming flowers and the gentle hum of bees. The conversation started softly, but grew into something real and warm. "I want us to be friends, Maya," Anna said sincerely. "No matter what happens with Jake, I want us to support each other." Maya smiled, feeling grateful. "I want that too. We can be stronger together." The two young women began to build a friendship that helped them face the future with courage. They shared stories, dreams, and sometimes fears, always listening and caring. As weeks passed, Jake, Anna, and Maya learned to balance their feelings with respect and kindness. They understood that love was not about possession or jealousy, but about trust and honesty. One day, Jake surprised both women with a small picnic by the old stone wall near the garden. He brought fresh fruit, bread, and sweet honey from the local market. They laughed and talked, enjoying the simple joy of being together. At one point, Jake looked at both Anna and Maya and said softly, "I know this isn't easy, but I believe that with patience and care, we can find a way to be happy, together." Anna and Maya nodded, their eyes shining with hope. The sun set behind the hills and the sky grew dark. Stars twinkled above, like tiny promises of the future. In that moment, they all felt something powerful. A new beginning, filled with possibility and love that could grow in many ways. As the days passed, the bond between Jake, Anna, and Maya grew stronger. They were learning to navigate their feelings with patience and understanding. Life in the small town near the Apache community was calm, but full of moments that made their hearts beat faster, with hope and new possibilities. One morning, Jake woke up early and stepped outside. The air was cool and fresh, and the sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky with soft colors. He thought about how much his life had changed since he moved here. He had found friends, new experiences, and feelings he never expected. Jake walked over to Anna's house. She was sitting on the porch sipping tea and watching the morning light. When she saw Jake, she smiled warmly. "Good morning," she said softly. "Good morning," Jake replied. "I was thinking maybe we could all meet today, you, Maya, and me, and spend some time together." Anna nodded.
That sounds nice. I'll tell Maya.
Later that day, the three of them met at the small park near the river, the place where so many of their conversations had taken place. The sun was shining and a gentle breeze moved through the trees. It was the perfect day to be outside and enjoy each other's company. They brought blankets, food, and drinks and settled down on the soft grass. As they ate and laughed, their worries seemed to melt away. They talked about simple things, favorite memories, hopes for the future, and funny stories from their pasts. Maya looked at Jake and Anna and smiled. "I never thought I would feel this happy," she said quietly. "It feels like we're building something real." Jake reached out and took both their hands. "We are. And I believe we can keep building it, together." Anna squeezed their hands gently. "We just have to keep being honest and patient." The afternoon passed quickly, filled with warmth and understanding. The three friends felt close, connected by more than just friendship. They were learning to care for each other in new ways, discovering how love could take many forms. One evening, as the sun began to set, Jake, Anna, and Maya sat together on a hill overlooking the town. The sky was a beautiful mix of orange, pink, and purple. The stars were starting to appear, shining softly in the darkening sky. Jake looked at both women and said, "I know this journey isn't always easy, but I'm grateful for every moment with you." Anna smiled, her eyes shining. "Me too," Maya nodded, her heart full. "Together, we're stronger." They stayed on the hill, watching the stars and feeling the quiet peace of the night. In that moment, they knew that whatever challenges might come, they would face them as one. Over the next few weeks, life continued with its ups and downs. Sometimes they had moments of doubt or worry, but they always returned to each other with honesty and kindness. They talked openly about their feelings, their fears, and their dreams. The people in the town began to notice the friendship between Jake, Anna, and Maya. Some were curious, others surprised. But many admired the way the three supported one another, learning and growing together. One day, Jake received a letter from his family in the city. They wanted him to come back, to return to his old life and job. It was a difficult choice. He loved his new friends in the peaceful town, but he also missed his family. Jake talked to Anna and Maya about the letter. They listened carefully, understanding his struggle. "Whatever you decide," Anna said, "we'll support you." Maya nodded. "Yes. You have to do what feels right for you." After much thought, Jake decided to stay. He knew his heart was here, with Anna and Maya, and in the community he was learning to love. That decision made him feel strong and hopeful. Months later, the three of them continued to build their lives together. They shared celebrations, quiet evenings, and new adventures. Their love grew deeper, and their friendship became a foundation that held them steady. One day, Anna invited her family to meet Jake and Maya. It was a big step. Her family welcomed them warmly, asking questions and sharing stories. The meeting was filled with laughter, kindness, and a feeling of belonging. Maya's family also grew curious. Slowly, she introduced them to Jake and Anna. Though it was new and sometimes challenging, Maya's family began to see the happiness the three shared. Together, Jake, Anna, and Maya were breaking old patterns and creating something new, a family built on respect, love, and understanding. As the seasons changed, they faced life's challenges hand in hand. There were hard days, but also moments of joy that made every struggle worth it. One quiet night, Jake, Anna, and Maya sat by the fire in Jake's backyard. The flames flickered, casting soft shadows around them. They talked about the future, about dreams of traveling, learning, and building a home where everyone felt safe and loved. Jake looked at the two women and said, "Thank you for trusting me, for being brave." Anna smiled. "Thank you for being you." Maya reached out and held their hands. "We're together, now and always." In the soft glow of the firelight, they felt a peace that came from knowing they had found something rare and true, a love that was patient, kind, and real. The story of Jake, Anna, and Maya was not like many others. It was special, full of hope and courage, and as they looked up at the stars, they knew their journey was just beginning.